Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and we've got a full crew today. We got the Sports Vibes TV boys. We got Steven Fox and my guy Quis. What's up, guys?
All's good. Great to be here, hanging out with my guys and with the Nick fandom.
Happy to
Tremendous.
be here as well. Excited for this game. Looking for us to come out with a W. It would be a big statement to start the season.
Ooh, it'd be a huge statement. Statement. So today, for one, thanks everyone for joining us. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and subscribe to Sports Vibes TV as well. And hit that thumbs up button for us. Very much appreciated. Welcome to everyone in the chat. Connor Tulin, good to see you, brother. 90s Knicks, let's go. This would be a huge win tonight. We'll get into it. We'll break down that game. But before we get to that, we're going to discuss Quis and Foxy's feelings about the past two games this week. And then, actually, Foxy, we can talk about the Monday night game, but Quis, we already talked about that one. But we'll talk about the game that just happened here against the Charlotte Hornets at Madison Square Garden, overtime win. And then we're going to look at Mitch Robinson. Is he making a claim for being a top 10 center in the NBA? So we're going to look at that, go over that, and then we're going to discuss whether Jalen Brunson is an all-star. Well, whether he's an all-star already this year. And then we're going to break down the Bucks game. All right. So first of all, Foxy, your feelings on where the Knicks are right now.
Well, we've been talking about it for a while, you and me and Keith on the show for a number of streams that we said we wanted to go 3-1 in our first 4 games. And, now we're ready to go. We wanted to be in gear, and what a difference a Brunson makes. Wow, man. I know everybody's saying, well, we would have lost that game last year, and they're damn right. He's a closer. He's everything this team needs. He doesn't have to be flashy. He just has to be good. And he just has made everyone better, and looks like he's taken some of the stress off some of the guys because he's willing to take it on himself.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And, yes, we were all saying, I said in the recap, this was definitely a game we would have lost last year, but we shouldn't have lost games like this last year. That's what was so frustrating. That's why those early games that happen in the season, they do reveal who your team really is or who will they be. When we dropped that game, heartbreaker to the Magic at MSG, after destroying them down in Orlando, I think it left the fan base. Maybe I'll just talk for myself. It left me like I was shocked, and I kept thinking, this can't be the team. This can't be the team. So I was in denial for like the next 5-6 games after that. But then by game 10, I was sounding the alarm. I was like, no, this is a problem. We have to do something. This year is the exact reverse. It's such a great story.
Is it?
So far, it's a great story.
It's fantastic for the Brunson thing, but you did brilliant shows last year on lack of minute management from Tibbs, and he didn't play Obi enough, and Randall looked cooked down the stretch.
We still got exactly, and that was the problem with the previous game as well. Okay, who did we play on Monday? Forgot already.
That was the Magic, no?
Magic.
Yeah, Magic.
Yeah, that was the Magic, right? The Magic, then Charlotte. Yeah, that game against the Magic, Julius was totally gassed by the fourth quarter. Totally.
And that's when he makes the stupid fouls and stuff like that, when he's just gassed. So, yeah, come on, Tibbs. That's the trigger. Keep him fresh.
Exactly. And it's like a symbiotic thing, because if Tibbs works hard to keep Randall fresh, Randall won't go to that dark place.
Beautifully said.
We saw it for a moment. We saw it for a glimpse, and kudos to him. Shout out to him for pulling himself out of it. It didn't this time. This time it didn't linger, and that was great. So I was happy to hear that. But happy about that, especially. Quis, what are your takeaways from that intense, nail-biting, gutsy, brutal?
I mean, it's a nice way to to start the season, we're battle tested. We've gone through 2 overtime periods already, so that's something that at least this team has experienced it, and we know that if we go into pressure situations, that these guys have like I said, some experience. And we've seen Jalen Brunson step up big. You see the efficiency. What was he, 10 or 15 during that game? And you saw the high assist totals. I think one question everybody had when Brunson was signed here was, could he really be that type of facilitator to get everybody involved? So you see, what was it, his career high and assists in that game. So I think that's something that Knicks fans should be extremely encouraged about, the fact that he's getting guys involved, getting players like Mitch involved and things like that. So another thing that kind of stood out to me is the fact that we saw my guy Cam Closer. The fact that he was brought into the game and he made an impact defensively. So I think the fact that Tibbs is starting to give some trust to Cam in situations like that bodes well for his long-term future with this team. So I think those were 2 points that I really jumped off the screen to me. You see how Mitch, we'll talk about him later on in the show, but he's been a beast defensively, looking to become
Dude, I overlooked that block that he made at the end. Recap, I forgot about it. That was crucial. I think the Knicks still would have been up by 1, but you know how it gets. We get tight. That was a big.
Not even just the block, but also the fact that he contested Gordon Hayward when he was trying to put up that shot to win the game for the Hornets. So I think that just shows how impactful Mitchell Robinson could be at this point in his career, when he still doesn't have that much of an offensive repertoire. We've seen him try to expand it.
Saw that little.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a hook shot or a post fade, but I was like, wow, it went in.
Yeah, exactly.
He took a shot and it went in. Holy mackerel.
And he wasn't under the basket when he took it.
All right, quick question. Who's your favorite Knick, Foxy?
Brunson now.
Keith, who's your favorite Knick?
Favorite Knick is either going to be Mitch or Cam.
Cool. My favorite Knick is, I don't know. I love Mitch. His whole story is just great. He wasn't able to go to college. Then he basically sat for a year. Second round pick. People were projecting him. He could have been a late lottery pick if he had played in college.
Western Kentucky.
Yeah, we got a steal. I know $1 million for all of us is a tremendous amount of money for a basketball player in your prime of your career. $1 million, $1.8 million. It's not crazy amounts of money. It's not life changing, especially when you paying your assistants, your manager, and agent, and all that jazz, taxes and all that jazz. So it's great that he finally got the bag, and his whole attitude about it. We're going to get into that. His whole attitude, his mindset. He's primed for following through on that desire to chase Defensive Player of the Year, and I love that. Love that. All right, but before we get into the next part of this, shout out to the chat. Foxy, you want to shout anybody out specifically, or?
Yeah, sure. Kareem Grant. I hope all is well. We surveyed 100 people. I always call him our field producer by sending us stuff. The one, the only Adele Chapman. Give a hug to little Avery. Victor Viviera from Colombia. Just wanted to say hi.
Hey, Colombiano.
Yeah, so just wanted to give a shout out. I'll pass the ball for you guys to do some shout outs.
Yeah, shout out Bricks Nation, John Talento. Thank you for tuning in. Drew Licata. We surveyed 100 people, said his new favorite Knick is now Randall. I'm saying Julius Randle's on that redemption tour. He's posting that the Knicks are the best fans in the world on IG. He's actually showing better attitude out there on the court. So shout out to him. Hopefully he can continue to build upon this start.
Hey, Giannis is a good role model for Julius. Even though Giannis is like the bigger version, faster version, stronger version, but
other than that, they're about the same.
But Randall's not. What other guys are there like that? Like power forwards, like move like them.
Paolo.
We just saw
Paolo. We saw that against Magic, yeah.
Right, and everyone's losing their minds over him. So Randall's that's the kind of guys that's the kind of player that he should emulate. More so than like a Kobe style. Just in terms of their skill sets. But he does actually. Someone put in the chat. Julius usually has good games against Giannis. There's like a little mental rivalry going there, which I love that.
Yeah,
what was that?
I was just gonna say Randall normally steps up when he has these marquee power forward matchups.
Yeah, and you guys, I like that. I respect that desire to go out there and really make a statement against the best players. That's a good mindset to have.
All the great ones do.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, tonight we have a later start. Starts at 8:00 in New York, and we are going to. We'll see how long we go tonight. Let's.
Is it in New York or is it away?
I mean, it's away, but
okay.
It's an 8:00 start in New York.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. That's what it is. All right. Well, let's get to our first major topic of the day. Is Mitch a top 10 center? So I'm going to. Well, first of all, this is a tweet from NBA University, which is. I thought was awesome. This leaders in contested rebound percentage, because we've been hearing that Mitch, he's not that great a defensive rebounder, and so we were looking into the numbers, and this is actually I found this is a great indicator here. Leaders in contested rebound percentage. See who is actually grabbing the tough ones, the tough rebounds. Mitch is number one, 76.2%. It's only 16 total.
I was about to say that doesn't make sense because he's only doing 2 a game.
Yeah, but we're talking about like the ones that are heavily contested, that are really challenged. He's up there in that category. Look at our guy Hartenstein, number 5. Look at number 2.
And they're including both offensive and defensive rebounds, right?
Yes, they're including both.
Oh, okay, that skews it then.
Mitch fights for those offensive rebounds.
He fights for those.
The majority of them are going to be contested.
Beautiful. Yeah. And he announced today it's a motherfucking block party hosted by Mitchell Robinson. You heard me. I love that he's owning that. I love it. So here, I'm going to make this larger for all of us here. These are 2 charts that I pulled. One is from Cleaning the Glass, and the other one is from 538. It's the Raptor rating. You can see right there, Mitch is on the borderline of the top right quadrant on the right graph there, which is where you want to be as a center. Offensively, he's at an even, but defensive Raptor is a plus 2.1. If he can increase that offensive score, his offensive game itself, he will definitely, just from statistics, be in the top 10 as a center in the NBA. However, when you look over to the left, and it's all players, not just centers, all players, the PSA is points scored per attempt. So look at that. Mitch is up there with Steph Curry and Michael Porter Jr. Yeah, look at that. He has a 100 percentile score, a 159.1 PSA. Look at the other bigs, because to really compare, Mitch is right now topping Jokic. He's topping Giannis. He's Kleber, Maxi Kleber, Kevin Looney, and the final one is Rudy Gobert at the bottom there. So our boy is making a statement right now. We'll see if he can keep it going. This was an article Steph Bondi put out, which is a really, really interesting article. He tweeted it out to promote it. Mitchell Robinson tells me he wants to make my mark tomorrow night against Giannis Antetokounmpo, also gunning for Defensive Player of the Year. I'm trying to get it, and I'm going to continue to fight to get it. I love that attitude. Love it. In the article here, I want to just point out one part of it. He wrote, still, Robinson said Antetokounmpo isn't the most difficult to contest at the rim. He instead cited Jokic because of his craftiness. I thought that was really interesting. You guys read this article?
No.
The Daily News? Yeah, it was an interesting. And then here's a quote in the next part here. It says, most people yell out, when you get paid, you don't want to work no more. That's the opposite of me, Robinson said. Even though I got a little bag, I'm still going to work even harder now because I want one. I want another one. I want more. I'm hungry. Robinson's best effort was Wednesday's overtime win against the Hornets when he logged 37 minutes with 6 block shots, including the game-saving rejection with 8 seconds remaining in overtime. And then, of course, he picked up its MF block party right here. Okay, so what do we think about our guy Mitch? Is there a legitimate argument for him already being a top 10 center in the NBA? Foxy.
He's a top 10 center defensively. I just don't know if he's a top 10 defense center all around. When you have Joker and Bede and Bam and Rudy and Ayton and Allen and Vucevic and he's just not doesn't have that rounded out game. So he's great, as we said. He's averaging 3.3 offensive rebounds this year, 2 defensive rebounds, and we talked about him trying to get that up. For example, Capella has 3 offensive rebounds a game, but he's averaging 5, almost 6 defensive rebounds. Last year, it's only early. He'll average around 8. So I'm happy with Mitch, like you said, his defensive presence and everything. But getting back to your question, is he a top 10 center? All around, I think he's around, at the end of the top 10, maybe 10, 11 in this league. Personally, what I think.
Okay,
and I think
so close.
Yeah, he's close, and I think Tibbs is showing that the model is changing. That he's enamored with a Hartenstein, what spacing does for the other players. That you see his minutes, even though he played 37 minutes in overtime. I think there's a lot of us saying that over the season we may see Hartenstein play a lot more minutes than we thought, because not only of him stretching the floor, but what he does for the other players.
All right. So Foxy, basically to recap, you feel like defensively, if that was the only metric, there's no doubt.
He's top 5.
Yeah, his offensive, his limitation of offensive arsenal is what's keeping him out of that.
Shooting like 41% from the line, foul line, so that's depressing. It's only a few games.
He's never been a good free throw shooter. That's lame.
It's development we're looking for.
Yeah. So Keith, how about you? What's your feelings on Mitch as for one thing, I'll let you just give your feelings about it, and then I was going to ask you guys a follow-up question about this. You're muted, Keith.
You're muted, bud.
Yeah, I think he's getting there. I don't think he's top 10 just yet. But I think if he's able to expand that game offensively, if he's able to knock down more of those post fades that we saw in the last game, then he can start, skyrocketing up that list. Because as Foxy said, he's definitely, in my opinion, top 5, maybe top 3 center defensively with the impact he's able to have out there on the court. It's just offensively, it's pretty much dunks and putbacks, which is solid. I don't want to say that that's a negative, but when you look at some of the other offense, or some of the other centers around the league and how skilled they are, and how versatile they are offensively, and they can still, give you issues defensively, then you have to give them a little bit of an edge over Mitchell Robinson. But I think if he's able to continue to build out that offensive repertoire, we've seen the post fade. Can he add maybe a hook? Can he add maybe a mid-range jump shot? If he can do those things, then I think he can definitely be top 8, top 7 in the league. But right now, because of how limited he may be offensively, and we're assuming he's limited offensively because he really doesn't get any opportunity to show us anything else. But until he does that, he's going to be, just outside that top 10, I think.
Yeah, it seems like I'm with you guys in terms of because of his limitations offensively. But the follow-up question I was going to ask was, and I was actually going to ask Foxy first. What? Then actually Keith ended up answering it by saying if he added more to his offensive game. But what?
He always answers my questions.
And
it makes it so easy for me. I love him.
My bad.
No, I love you.
What would it take for him to be, a bona fide top 10 center? What kind of, realistically, knowing what we know about Mitch, even though you're right, Keith, he doesn't necessarily get that many opportunities to show what he does offensively. But what would be the bare minimum that he would need to add to his game offensively to become a bona fide top 10 center?
I know this is an abstract answer, but just watching Hartenstein add passing. He virtually has no assists, this guy. If he could build that into his game from the pinch post, we could deal with him being a 10-point guy, 10 rebound, but make us, a 6 assist guy changes everything for this team, him getting cutters and stuff.
If he became a 6 assist guy, I think we're talking top 4, 5.
But just meaning that could impact without him getting a jump shot. Just learning to pass.
I love that. I've actually seen him make some decent passes over the years, but they're so few and far between. I mean, his whole attitude is like, I'm 7'1", I can outleap anybody. So if the ball's in my hands and I'm anywhere near the rim, I'm going to try to score. And I get that mentality. I mean, he's the all-time leader in field goal percentage around the rim. So that's the all-time leader in the NBA. He, for the highest field goal percentage in an NBA season, Mitch Robinson has that record.
Yeah, he's going to break right through it this season. I think he's at like
88%. Yeah, I know he's having an off year.
You know, I'll tell you one thing that I love so much about him is how gentle his touch is. For how ferocious he is a defender and a block monster. His touch around the rim, his little tips, all that stuff, that's touch, man. That's why he gets that high percentage. It's not just, he doesn't just do it from ferocity, like he's got real nice touch around that rim. Like I wish RJ would get some of that touch.
It's a little bit easier when you're 7 foot and you just have it.
He has a 3-inch touch.
But bro, you look at these guys like Zubac, like Zubac, like all these guys, they're there, they can do it, but they don't have that kind of the level of touch that I've seen from Mitch. I'm just really impressed by that touch of his. Well, I think,
hey, on that shot he made the other day, that was definitely touch on that little shot in the paint. Absolutely,
too, right?
Yeah, it's nothing. Yeah, nothing but that. Room. Yeah, nothing but that. But not just those. The tip. We're talking about the tip ins, and sometimes
for sure. It takes finesse to do that.
Yeah, sometimes a guy's draped on his shoulder, and he's like he taps it in.
And that contributes to your contested rebound percentage.
Bingo.
That's where you get that high percentage right there.
Yeah, I would say let's run it down. Number 1 center right now in the NBA is Jokic, no doubt. Embiid, number 2, but not necessarily the way he's been playing this year, but we know that he is that level. And arguably, I mean, Giannis isn't technically a center, but we're gonna. Huh?
You're roping him in as a center?
Well, he actually is a center in reality. He actually is a center. He just plays in the power forward position, and there is a center on the court who happens to shoot like a guard.
Yeah,
Brook Lopez on that team, which is why they're such a dangerous team.
And block shots.
Yeah. So okay, so those are the top 3. 4 Gobert. 5 Bam
and Cat.
Bam and Cat. So that's 6. Now we're gonna get down into it. Who's 7th? Who's the 7th best center?
Maybe either Valanciunas or Vucevic. One of those two.
Oh, Valanciunas?
Yeah, and you have Allen, you have Ayton.
Ayton? Okay. Ayton, Allen, we don't know where they are, but they're up there. So now we're at 9. What was the other? Valanciunas and Vucevic.
Mm-hmm.
I would take, personally, Robinson over Vucevic, personally, because Vucevic doesn't play defense at all. And who's the other one? Valanciunas?
Yeah.
Valanciunas, I do like him a lot.
Yeah, me too.
So that puts Mitch at 11. Arguably 12.
What about a healthy KP?
Are we counting him as a center or are we counting him as a 4?
I know it's crazy. And today, that's the whole thing, why it's a complex question that you posed from the beginning. It's not only where he is, it's where the NBA is going. And the NBA is going to, the Giannis, the 4s that are going to be playing 5s in the future. Mm-hmm. They can shoot 3s and block shots, but they have a different game than Mitch.
I haven't watched KP obviously as much as when he was with the Knicks. I think the last time he truly played center was with the Knicks. I don't think he's really in Dallas. I don't think he was the center. And in Washington, isn't Gaff? Wait, who's the center for
Gafford?
Gafford. I think he's the backup center. No. I think
Yeah,
right now,
they traded away Thomas Bryant, so
yeah. So it depends. It depends. You're right, but I'll say let's not count Porzingis as a center. And if we don't count Giannis as a center, then Mitch is like right there, number 10.
He's played 100% of his minutes at center this season.
He has
for the Wizards, yeah, based on Basketball Reference.
All right, so there we have it. So I would definitely take.
Thank you for that.
I would take Mitch over KP at the moment. But if
KP has a beard now, shocked me. I was like, what's going on with this?
Yeah, I know. It was like Uncle Elmer.
Oh, yeah, Christian Wood. Somebody mentioned Christian Wood. He's also a player that has to be included.
Yeah, he should be definitely considered.
And then you have Time Lord, who has a similar game to Mitch.
He does, but man, that guy
Who?
is
Say it
hurt.
again. I didn't hear the name.
Time Lord.
Robert Williams.
Robert Williams.
Oh. And Clint Capella.
And Clint Capella. Beautiful, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a double-double every night, man.
Yeah.
That is.
Center's a lot deeper than most people think.
It is. It's a very deep position right there. But even with all that being said, the way that Mitch is currently playing defense, I mean, he's playing at an all-NBA level right now. The way he's playing pick and rolls, where I mean, basically the way he's finding the spacing between the roller and the ball handler, he's playing that perfectly, and he knows like how much he needs, how much room he can give, and still be able to recover and get that block. He almost induces people the way he's playing it. That's outstanding, huh?
He baits them.
Yeah, it's like what Keith brought up, that block at the end of the game, man. He baited that. He knew that little guy was going to come down. Everyone's little to him, but he knew he was going to be able to get that shot. I think, last year he came in heavy, had to lose weight during the season. It looks like he has his timing and bounce back, like you were saying, from his rookie season. So with his shot blocking and everything, he absolutely has beautiful timing, man.
Yeah. So right now, Mitch is not in that top 10, but he is trending in that direction. It really looks like if he keeps going, and maybe he does do one of those moves from the three-point line, he just takes it off the dribble right to the hoop. We'd like to see some of that. See another couple of baby jumpers.
Well, I was hoping against Plumlee. That's who he usually does it against.
He loves to go after that guy. And I love.
Hey, you know what? But I'd love Tibbs to say to him, from this point on, we want one shot at a minimum a game from you. Mm-hmm. It's good for you, Mitch. We want you to do it. Take one shot a game. And, Brunson and others look like they were looking for him to have a mismatch down in the paint, get him the ball, and, take that shot. And worst case scenario, go to the foul line and miss.
We survey 100 people.
Info would like that one, huh?
Oh, yeah. We survey 100 people. Good to see you, brother. He says, Mitch is better than Lopez now, in my opinion. Awesome. And we're talking about impacting winning, not like who's the better shooter. We're talking about overall, which center impacts winning the most right now. That's the actual, I should have said that earlier. That was the criteria.
Brooks hanging out, yeah.
Mobley is going to be up there.
Yeah, he'll get there eventually.
He's a forward, yeah.
He'll definitely get up there. He does have Allen there with him, so it's sometimes tricky. They alternate their positions. Let's see what other.
Hey, quick question: you think we'll play? You think we'll play Hartenstein and Mitch together against Mobley and Allen? Our twin towers against their twin towers.
I think the only way you can do that is if RJ is out of his shooting funk, or you just put shooters around him. I mean, right now we're struggling from the 3-point line. We're struggling with our jump shots. So it's like, I can't see it right now.
Yeah, we're 24th.
I'm trying to think about how Tibbs coached up against them last year. I don't think he put Sims and Mitch on the court together at the same time.
I think put Randall against him because of his lack of strength, Mobley.
Yeah, I don't think he put Mitch and Gibson out there on the court together either at the same time. So we probably won't see it.
We did see some Mitch and Taj. I don't know if it was in that game against that opponent, but we did see some Mitch and Taj, like a few minutes here and there. But it was Taj was playing the 4 in that one. So yeah, I don't know. But it would be nice. I'd like to see it. See those two out there. But yeah, we would have to have some. And also, Hartenstein's 3-point shot hasn't been that great to begin the season right now. He just doesn't get enough looks, though. It's hard to get in the rhythm. Shout out to the chat. We got about 120 in the chat. It's awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. I see Evan Best. I see Chris Lopez. What's up? Sincere to Genius.
Hey, our friend Hector from Knicks Morning Brew. He has a show at 11 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Is Jerry Ferrara coming on? He had his debut show today with Jigga and his brother Phil and Zook. So congratulations, Hector. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. Knicks Morning Brew. Our friend Hector.
Salute, Hector. He says, all I want to see tonight is hustle and effort. I don't want to see us get blown out. Give me energy and effort out there. That's so funny because that's exactly what we were talking about. We actually JD was on earlier, right before we went live. And that's basically, that was the speech. We need a good effort. Whether we win or lose is actually almost irrelevant. We just can't get blown out. So that's our preview. All right, bye. No.
Sounded like Fetterman. All right, goodbye. Good night.
That was it. All right. The next topic, fellas, is I'm going to start calling him Dr. Brunson. The way that he dissects defenses, it's like a surgeon. He's unbelievable. And his hands are the scalpels, and the man just rips teams apart. It must be so demoralizing to try to guard this guy, where you think, oh, we got him cornered, we got him trapped, and this and that, and he like sneaks through, he gets around, he's got a good enough dribble, he's just quick enough to beat double teams. Then he gets into the lane, he's the smallest guy, like these trees come over, and somehow he wiggles, it shoots right over them, and it's a swish. That's got to be demoralizing for other teams.
A personification of him manipulating that was that no-look dunk for pass to Mitch. He was going one way, threw the ball for Mitch for that dunk. He manipulated that defense like a maestro.
It was beautiful. It was a thing of beauty. So Dr. Brunson, the surgeon, Tommy Beer tweeted this out, I think it was yesterday. Yeah. There are only 2 players currently averaging at least 20 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds, while also shooting over 50% from the floor this season. And that is Nikola Jokic, last year's and the year before's MVP, and Jalen Brunson. It's almost impossible to overstate Brunson's impact on this franchise thus far. Is Jalen Brunson currently in the running? I mean, is he? I mean, who is he the starting point guard for the East this year in the All-Star game?
Who do you want to lead?
I think I'm going to give it to Foxy because he's thinking.
I don't know about leading, but I definitely think on the team. I think if real basketball people would vote for Brunson, because of, like you said, his game. He's a 50. He's always around 50, 40, 90. He's so super smart. He's just a pro's pro. So he's already in the running for most improved player to me of the year. So I could definitely see him as an all-star, especially on this team. I think he's the number. If there's going to be an all-star on this team, it's Brunson.
All right. Quis.
Yeah,
how are you?
I think he could definitely be in the all-star game. I don't know if he'll be one of the starters. Those positions typically go people to have a little bit, brighter star per se. But I think he'll definitely be on the roster, especially if he continues to play like this. And you see what he's able to do and how much better this team looks when he's out there and he's setting things up for his teammates. And you see the clutch factor. I think a lot of people kind of gravitate to players that can, make big plays in some of the biggest spots. So I think if he can continue to go out there and help lead this team to wins, then I think Knicks fans are going to throw their support behind him to make him an all-star. And also the national audience who are going to see Knicks games, they're going to see that Jalen Brunson is one of the best, if not the best player on the team. And they're going to give him some votes as well. So I think he'll definitely be on the team if he plays like this, but I don't know if he'll be one of the starters per se.
All right. I agree with you guys. I think he's definitely has a legitimate argument for being on the All-Star team at all. And, whether he's selected or he's actually one of the starters or whatever, he's definitely making a legitimate argument, especially when you look at, now this is from Cleaning the Glass. These are all the point guards in the NBA. Brunson right here, in terms of PSAs, points scored per attempt, he is, was that 7th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th in the entire NBA. With only in the East, only Van Vliet and Harden are above him. So at this point, I guess, is Harden right now probably the favorite to be the starting point guard on the All-Star team for the East?
Well, after only a few games, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it looks, and we don't know what's going to happen with Harden. So it looks like Brunson, if he keeps playing like this, he really has a realistic chance, especially with the Knicks fan base. We should, we should all vote for him. If he continues playing like this, we should definitely at least do our part and try to vote him in. Look at that. His impact is tremendous.
His impact is as good, or if not better, than the impact Julius Randle had on this team 2 seasons ago in this first few games. So I think if we got Julius Randle in the All-Star game 2 years ago, we can get Jalen Brunson in.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And in some ways, his impact has been, well, he does have Julius on the team to help him. But, we were a losing team before Rose came. Even with Randle playing like incredibly as he was, we were technically a losing team when we made that trade for Derrick Rose in that season, which helped carry us into the playoffs. God, that was so magical. Remember that year?
Yeah, I want that feeling again.
Oh, my God.
But I think what was so great about it is it wasn't expected. It came out the blue.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally out of the blue.
And
you guys getting a little bit of that
defense.
vibe, though? You getting a little bit of that vibe?
Yeah. I'm getting the vibe. It's hard. It's so early, but if we get that defense, we've been saying if we have a top 5, top 7 defense, anything could happen, folks. We just got to shoot better than 24th in the league from 3. If we go back a couple of years, shoot 13th, shoot better than 26th that we did last year from foul total, and play top defense, anything could happen.
Yeah, I'm not that worried about the 3-point shooting for the entire team at the moment. I know we're struggling with it. I think it's going to rise. What are we at, 33%, right, for the 3-point line? I think 33.3%. I think it's gonna go up. RJ's gonna hit more threes. We know once Grimes comes back what he can do. We know what Fournier is. Brunson's already shown to be a very good 3-point shooter. Volume is the one main issue with him, but he's strategic about when he launches his threes. He doesn't overdo it, and when he's got a nice clean look for it, or even sometimes he doesn't have a clean look, but we desperately need the shot, he takes it and hits it. That's fantastic. Quickly, his 3-point shot, struggling again, gets off the slow starts. He'll heat up. Obi has actually been a nice little surprise. Nice surprise. Oh, man, I wish I had that. Someone tweeted this out that if you eliminate the first, whatever game, 20 games.
151.
Yeah. What was that? Do you remember?
The first 151 attempts?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
I don't remember. That's as much as I remember.
Oh, yeah.
51 I remember is rum.
And I was thinking, what, Bacardi time?
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, so check that out. Let's see. Let's check out the chat, guys. See if we got anything interesting here. Willie Cruz says Kyrie is the best PG in the East.
You see his handles yesterday? Oh my God. It's like gift from the Lord, man. He's unbelievable. That is a magician with a ball.
If he was the best PG in the East, they would be winning.
It takes more than, the only 2-man team, man.
There are very few losing teams with great point guards. Just almost impossible. He definitely is who he is. He's amazing in terms of his handle and his ability to score, but defensively and the way he runs an offense,
in the locker room.
Yeah, and then there's the locker room. But he definitely, actually, wasn't he on the? He was on the All-Star team last year, wasn't he? No,
No,
he wasn't. That's right, because of the COVID, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. It's all about wins. Yeah, Kimi Low. It's all about wins. If we win, Brunson will get the awards. That is true. That is true. Let's see. Find some other ones here. Got a nice chat.
If we win tonight, the Eastern Conference is on notice. Facts.
And
then we're gonna follow it up on Sunday.
There we go. Evan. Even. I always say Evan best, but it's even best. Yeah, that is very true. We are on notice. The NBA will be on notice. We win tonight. Shit's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna be all drunk on here doing a recap, celebrating. It's gonna be awesome. Man, I'm feeling like we're gonna win.
It's a game we could win. When they're 24th in points, they're 22nd in offensive rebounds. They're 25th in turnovers. They're phenomenal on defense. So if they, by any chance, don't pick it up on offense, and we play we could beat them.
Yeah, and they have yet to play a plus 500 team. All the teams they play were sub 500. We're 1-1 against plus 500 teams, and we probably should have won that first game against Memphis, especially with Bane struggling the way he was.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that was our defense or that was just him getting off the slow start, but man, did he explode later on in other games. Desmond Bane.
Yeah, last game. I think he had 39 or something last game.
Yeah. So before we get to the next thing, which is discussing the Knicks and the Bucks game and just the Knicks in general, is there any thoughts that you guys have had that you want to share? Any insights about the Knicks in general in these first 4 games that you guys have seen that maybe hasn't been discussed yet? Keys?
Nothing that really jumps off the top of my head, but I know Cam is definitely coming along. That's my guy. I'm hoping he's able to elevate and come into that starting position with Evan Fournier. Defensively, he still had issues, bro. Coquito, yes, sir. Evan Fournier, he's still having issues defensively, and he's still not knocking down his 3-point shot. So, at what point is Tibbs going to start, living what he's preaching and saying, if you're not shooting, you can't be in that starting lineup with RJ, Randall, and Brunson? Throw my guy Cam in, let him get some run, let him start, and let's see how that starting unit looks. That starting unit is the unit that we closed with, and they were able to help us get that W. So let's see what Cam can do as a starter. And I rest my case.
There we go. Foxy, how about you?
I just, they're getting used to a new point guard. They're getting used to each other. So I'm elated, at the way they're playing so far together. They beat some terrible teams, especially Detroit. But like we said, tonight's the test. And, Cam, I just want to see consistency. I'll say this, that foot on the line by PJ Washington saved his ass. He made a terrible defensive play on that Cam. And I'm like saying, if Grimes is back, you're not going to get those minutes. You can't do that, Cam. If you're going to have to win Tibbs hard on the defensive front, and you can't in crunch time miss a defensive assignment like that.
Yeah, I know. When that happened, I was like, there were a couple times like that.
He got benched right after that too. I think he had 2. He got burnt twice, had a turnover, and then Tibbs sat him.
Yeah, that was in OT. It was regular.
Oh no, yeah, that was at the
borderline,
end of the game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, when he had come back in. Correct.
Yeah. My surprise of the year so far has been Julius Randle's ability to stay focused on the goal, which is win, play as a team, and win. I'm very surprised, actually. I was one of those people that called for his to trade him. And then at one point, once we realized he was going to be here, I was just like hoping for the best. I hope that, somehow we get a version of all NBA Randall on this team. But I was also saying it kind of facetiously, like, oh yeah, it'd be great. And then, cause then we can trade him. But I never expected this version of him. He's totally embracing the team structure. Are there moments where it kind of falls apart a little bit and we get a little too ISO? There was that one play. I was like, what the fuck is this ISO bullshit?
Yeah, we were saying, we were talking to each other during the game, like, what
I
the
even
hell?
tweeted that out. Yeah. But other than that, like in the past, it would have been like 8 or 9 plays like that. Here we had 1, and it was just whatever. Maybe he was just tired. He felt, okay, I can do this at this moment. And no one else was moving. The ball stopped moving in that game. That was the reason we ended up going into overtime. They stopped playing the way they had been playing. And that's going to be a big challenge, especially against better teams. Got teams like the Bucks that can take you out of your offensive sets. Can they still stay locked in? Keep that ball moving. Keep moving off ball. Keep looking for the cutters. Keep setting better screens, better picks. Mitch's picks have been improved. But really, I think Randall has been the most surprising positive thing for me. The most surprising negative thing is RJ's shooting. Especially after the preseason he was phenomenal in preseason, and it looked effortless for him. He was replicating his shooting stroke every single time from the 3-point line. He was what did he hit, like 50% from the 3 in preseason?
Something like that.
Yeah.
He looks smooth. No hitch. And now, like we've talked about, aiming, hitching, hitching his mechanics.
And just 6 days later, it's gone. I'm surprised that it's like that. I hope he recaptures it. I don't know what's going on. People have mentioned he's carrying extra weight. Maybe that's what's making him a little bit slower, and it's impacting his lift. I don't know. What's your biggest surprise negative thing that's happened so far?
I think you touched on it. Forget about the offensive side. Watch RJ on screens. I know he went against John. I know he went in against Ivy, 2 speedsters, but he's just so slow getting around screens on defense. He's been backdoored, and his technique is just upright. And with his his lack of, he's not a twitch athlete. He's going to get killed if he's upright. He has to get in a different stance and something. So like you said, he just no hops. He's, I was saying to myself this morning that Giannis and Brook, is he going to, pull up, or is he going to test those guys going to the hole? He scored, 22 points the other night on, 2 jumpers. Everything else was at the hole. So we'll see tonight, but I've been, like people said, I think he's maybe needs to lose 10, but he just looks slow.
Yeah. Before I get the keys on that, it's interesting is, and I'm hearing that from a lot of places, and not just here, even not going to mention names, but when you look at the stats, he's by far our best player in terms of winning. He points per possession. He's a plus 12.3, 74 percentile. The next best is Jalen Brunson with a plus 5.8. It's like, what? You look at these stats, you're like, can this be real? His expected wins based on his current performance is a plus 38. The next closest is Brunson, a plus 14. When he's on the court, all defense opponents score 5.5 points less on average, which is for a 63 percentile, which is best on the team. Best on the team for the starters. I'd be clear about that. So it's like, yeah,
it's an anomaly, man. We love stats more than anyone, but our eyes don't lie. Come on, he's looked.
But we're 3-1. The guy has not had much going offensively from the jump shooting standpoint, and we've seen him get burned constantly here and there. But when you look at the overall totality of his workload, he's also, I think, covered the most distance in the top. I think he's like in top 3 or something in the NBA in terms of distance, which also indicates he's probably covering more difficult opponents. So he's a tricky guy. It's tricky like that with him. He he looks slower. He's not hitting his jumpers. And then when you look at his actual advanced stats, he's performing very well. So it's hard to tell. I mean, hopefully he turns it around, and then we really got something.
That right.
Yeah. How about you, Keith? What's your biggest negative surprise so far?
Biggest negative surprise is the fact that Tibbs has been unable to find minutes for Obi. Headed into this season, we thought, we heard that Obi was going to serve a larger role, and in order to, get more minutes out there on the court, he has to knock down his shots. He has to be a better shooter. Well, he's only getting 15 minutes per game, and he's shooting over 50% from the field, and he's shooting over 50% from 3. So if he's doing what everybody has asked him to do, and that's to be able to knock down his shots and be efficient with them, what else is there left for him to do in order to try and get 5 more minutes a game and try to get to that 20-minute mark? And remind you, this is after we played 2 games in overtime, so this isn't a standard 48-minute game over the 48-minute games. For these first 4 games, we played an additional 10 minutes, and we still haven't been able to find minutes for Obi to get him over that 20 minutes per game threshold. And I know Julius Randle has been solid to start the season, but you guys have both mentioned that there's been moments in the game where he's been gassed, he's been tired, and he hasn't been the best version of himself. So if that's the case, Tibbs is going to have to find ways to get Obi much more involved. He's getting weird with his rotations at times. There's no need for any of these guys to play entire quarters. Once you start doing that, it makes it real difficult for him to start, bringing people in and then trying to adjust if things were to go awry. So hopefully Tibbs can figure it out and get our guy Obi Toppin some more minutes.
He's got to figure it out, man. Because I failed to mention, yes, number 2 in terms of expected wins on the team, it was Brunson, but actually that's for starters. Number 2 on the entire team is Obi Toppin. He's a plus 24, and then it's Brunson. And in terms of differential on and off the floor, Obi's a plus 15.5 for second best behind RJ. I love when RJ, Obi, and Cam are on the court together. It's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of the best highlights we've had all season in the NBA have been from a combination of those 3.
Transition monsters on that
totally
that lineup. Yeah, my God.
Yeah. And those easy buckets like that, they go a long way, man. They go such a long way.
That's Cam's game.
Yeah. I'd love for that. All right. Well, let's see here. Let's get to, can the Knicks beat the Bucks? I'm starting to feel like we can. We have a chance tonight. I pulled these stats. This is to show where our team is at in terms of points scored overall. The Knicks are number 2 in the entire NBA. And we just talked about technically who should be our best players. RJ Barrett. He's struggling tremendously offensively, and yet we are number 2 in the entire NBA in points scored. Behind
we played 2 overtime games, George. You gotta add that disclaimer.
Hey, we did play 2 overtime games, but that's only 5 minutes. It's only 5 minutes, guys.
5 minutes is a lot in this NBA. When
it's true, especially we scored 12 points in that 5 minutes. That was tremendous. Yeah, but either way, we're still up there, right there. And when you look at the plus minus, because it's also about points allowed, we are number 5 in the NBA, a 9.3. That's awesome. Now we are going up against, I believe, and then look at Milwaukee Bucks. They're right above us there, number 3 with 11.0 plus minus. The Bucks, I think they're the number 1 rated defense. Bucks.
Number 1 rated defense, 1st in field goal percentage defensively, 5th in 3-point percentage defensively, 1st in 2-point percentage defensively, 1st in defensive rebounds. Yeah, first, like you said, in opposing points allowed, 97.8. Devastating defensive team. So it's a real good test for us.
Yeah, tremendously. So what do you guys think? Do you think what would it take for us to pull this game out tonight? Foxy.
Like we shoot over 37%, hold them under 35%,
3-point line, you mean?
From 3-point line, and shoot well from the, shoot at least 78% or higher from the foul line.
All right. And Quis, what about your feeling? What's your key aspects for us to pull off a win tonight? You're
muted, bud.
My bad. The mute issues are traveling over here to Knicks-Verse.
Yeah.
What you call it? In order for us, we have to be on a string defensively, be one unit defensively, because nobody's going to be able to defend Giannis one-on-one. So once he's able to get by his initial defender, it's going to be on Mitch, who I'm assuming is going to be, I don't know, how are they going to decide to do the defensive matchups? Because Mitch is talking about he's going to lock up Giannis, but I would assume he would be on Lopez and would have to rotate over if Giannis gets penetration, no? Because Randall and Giannis are going to be guarding each other. So it's going to be very important for Mitch to be aware of where his man is, because it's going to be difficult for him now, remember, to come in and try and stop Giannis from penetrating, because he's going to be guarding a guy like Lopez that can knock down the three. So that's why this team has to be operating as one unit, because you're going to have to help the helper. So when Mitch slides over to try and stop Giannis from getting in the paint, somebody's going to have to rotate over and make sure Brook Lopez doesn't get an open three. So Tibbs is going to have to come up with a good game plan in order to try and contain Giannis, because you're not going to stop him. That's what those type of players are able to do. They're able to overcome, great defense by having even better offense. You just have to make sure those moments are far and few in between. So I think we have enough guys in order to play together on defense, and we just got to lock up. Because I know the Bucks are going to play us hard defensively, and I don't think we're going to get as easy looks as we did against the Hornets, as we did against the Magic, and even at times against the Grizzlies. Not the Grizzlies. Who did we play? Yeah, the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
In the first game.
We know he's going to score over 30 points. The whole thing is we don't want a Jordan Nora or a Grayson Allen going off. We have to stop those guys from having a career day like we did last year.
I think this is my feelings about how we can pull this game out. It's the reverse structure game plan that most teams have against the Bucks. I would let Giannis feast in the first quarter. Let the other guys wilt. Let them not get into a rhythm. Don't let them get open 3-point shots. Let Mitch deal with Giannis, but tell him don't foul. Don't foul.
Easier said than done, Joe.
It is. But this is skill. You can guard a guy without fouling him, and
if the refs allow it.
Yeah, but to me, it's the other guys getting, like, Lopez starts feeling it, and then Drew hits a couple threes, or mid-range shot. Don't let those guys start feeling good. Let Giannis do his thing, but stay out of foul trouble in that first half, and then in that second half, shift it. Try to lock Giannis down. Don't let him get free, and force the other guys to try and beat you that are now been sitting around. They're kind of cold. Maybe they're not feeling it because you've been smothering them. Just switch it up. I think that's our chance to win this game tonight. And with guys like Cam out there, I'd like to see Cam. I want to see a bigger lineup against this team. Get Cam out there. If Fournier may not have Fournier may only play 8-9 minutes in this game today, because he's not going to play good enough perimeter defense for us to pull off that type of game plan.
Bobby Portis is averaging a double-double for him this year almost.
Bobby Portis,
who's an excellent 3-point shooter. And that's one of the things also I think we have to tighten up our perimeter D. We've lucked out against these lesser teams. There's been a lot of open shots on the opposing team that they haven't hit. You can't do that against the better teams.
Yeah, we have gotten lucky with that, for sure. But yeah, I'm feeling that we can do it. I feel like we can steal this game. It's going to take a tremendous team effort, and it's going to take a big game from the big guys. Randall, Brunson, and hopefully RJ fucking hits some 3-point shots, man.
I'll take middies. Just hit a
jacket. Anything. Hit a floater, man.
But,
show us some.
But also, what else? What we talked about. You have these gorgeous dimes, and then we don't see it for the rest of the game. In the last game, we didn't see it at all. Come on, RJ.
Yeah.
You have it in you, man. We need you to average 5 to 6 assists a game. You got it in you, man.
Totally. He dropped the ball, not literally, but he didn't there were definitely some plays where he was taking it down low. He was being guarded well, and he had guys open in the corner. He had Brunson open in the corner.
He missed him.
I think, isn't he the best corner?
Yeah, he was an elite. Yeah. You're going to do it again. I say elite. The thing's going to show I said it 4,623 times.
So if we fix those things, we have a definite chance to win this game. And unfortunately, Grimes is still out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I assume it's the same starting lineup for the Knicks.
And you know what else, fellas?
We surveyed. Thank you, brother.
What else?
Clutch.
D Rose was a revelation in only a few minutes. He played a few minutes and he scored 12 points last game. Yeah, if D Rose is getting into
12 and 10 or something, or 12.
Yeah, exactly. So if he gets into his groove, man, he's going to be magnificent.
I like the way we're managing his minutes. Keep him fresh just in case we have a playoff run ahead of us.
Totally. Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. All right. This is an interesting chart. Did you guys see this?
Looks like an ink blot with my eyes.
It's from Kurt Goldsberry. The efficiency landscape right now. Small samples additions, just, right now. This is the defensive efficiency is that's the X, and the offensive efficiency is the horizontal line. So in the top right is where the best teams overall are going to be. Right now, the Knicks are number 5 in net rating.
In that quadrant, yeah.
Yeah. 6 in offense and 8 in defense, according to that. Above us is the Nets and the Suns. The Cavs. The Cavs are number 1. Suns are number 3. And the Dallas Mavericks are number 2. Wow, that's interesting. Damn, I didn't realize that. Look who else is down there. That's the Timberwolves, the Raptors, and the Portland Trailblazers. So look at that. We are, according to this, we're a very well-balanced team.
Isn't that the Pelicans looming around there too?
Yeah, they're right next to the Hornets.
Yes.
Watch that team, folks.
Yeah, that's going to be the danger. Already they've been hit with the injury bug. Zion's missed games. Ingram's missed games. Someone else. It's a third person. Yeah, that's going to be a dangerous team. Wow. All right. Well, this has been good. I'm excited. I think. All right. If we get blown out, are you guys going to be really despondent?
Very.
Nope.
Oh, good. I got 2 totally opposite reactions.
It's a long season to go. So these things happen, but as long as you learn the lessons. But Quis has brought this up all along. I'm not worried about the players. I'm worried about Tibbs. Is he going to one that's going to learn the lessons?
Tibbs. What's your review of Tibbs so far this year? Quis.
Is that me?
Yeah. What's your feelings about Tibbs so far this year?
Well, there's been some pros, there's some cons. One of the pros is he's actually looking like he's being he's giving Cam a fair shot to actually crack the rotation. So I got to give him a plus on that. But the rotations for some reason still haven't gelled with me. He's playing guys exorbitant minutes. He's playing guys whole quarters he played Fournier a whole quarter. I don't think there's ever an event in which Evan Fournier needs to be on the court for the entirety of a quarter. So his rotations still are questionable, but I don't think he's been as egregious as we've seen in previous seasons. So there's definitely some progress, but there's still more that can be done.
Foxy?
It's hard going after Quis. He always does it so great. The only thing is just from an innovative standpoint, we want to see innovation. And, we went against Ja and a few other guys. Who teams like Phoenix puts Mikal Bridges because of that long, wingspan and everything. I would love to see him throw Cam at him. Try Cam in a different way that, he's very disruptive with that 7-foot plus wingspan. He has much better foot speed than RJ, so I'd love him to think out of the box in ways that we can get him minutes when we, on matchups that maybe, let's try Cam here. Hell, if you went with Burks, why the hell can't you try Cam?
That's true.
And you're only saying defensively. It's not like you're going to have Cam run the point.
Exactly.
What do you guys think has been the most positive, surprising thing about Thibs this year?
Probably the Cam line, that he's giving Cam some decent minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think part of that, obviously Grimes. Being out helped that. I would have been more surprised if Grimes was healthy and we still saw some Cam minutes. Yeah. I've been surprised by his. I mean, there have been some moments there where he has overplayed some guys, but generally he's made a better effort to have a more balanced minutes distribution. Generally, not as much as I'd like, but definitely he has made. It looks like he's made an effort. Though the thing is, as we get things move on and things get tighter, will he start getting tighter? But he said the other day he wants to keep it as a 10-man rotation, so he's liking that. So I'm surprised by that and his attitude. Also, I'm surprised that the beard works for him.
You like bearded tips?
Yeah, bearded tips. Yeah. He's got to cover that mug up.
He's a distinguished gentleman now.
He's going to do the comb over from his beard.
Oh, man. All right. Well, look, we got about 137 in the chat. It's fantastic. Great turnout, guys. Really appreciate it. We survey 100 people. Thank you so much for holding it down. Great mod. Really appreciate everything you do here, man. And Joseph A., shout out to you, brother. Let's see who else is here. I still see Hector there. Raymond Bentley, what's up? He says Thibs is doing fine. He is. That's a good way to summarize what Thibs this year so far. He's doing fine. Who wrote plantar fasciitis? That's what I have. I'm struggling with that.
Maybe they talk about Grimes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
See, but if they said that, at least we would understand the cause of him being out, and that you at least know that that's not something that's going to threaten his career long term. But to just have us out here in the wind, just guessing when he's going to come back, I think it sucks.
And not cool at all.
Totally. I don't understand why they don't tell us what's going on. Maybe they don't know, which is weird.
There's no way a multi-billion-dollar franchise is going to be unaware of what's going on with somebody medically, especially if it's like a foot injury and they have all these high-powered machines and things like that to get diagnoses. I think they know what's going on. They just don't want to tell us.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching this. We will be going. Well, there's tune in for this the Sunday show on Sports Vibes TV.
You're joining us this weekend.
Yeah, and I'll be joining for the pregame part of it towards the end of the stream, like we did last year, right?
Oh, you don't want to be for the whole stream?
Oh, I guess I thought that's what you meant, to come on for
because remember you said you wanted to.
We love you, man. We want you there for the thing.
All right, cool.
Yeah, cool. It's not the same. So
I'll be there.
4:30 or B square. But we have a great show planned on Sports Vibe TV on Sunday, and like we said, the only George will be joining us.
Awesome, that'd be fun. I'm down for that. Excited for that. And then it'll go into the start of the Cavs game, which that's going to be.
We'll probably wrap up at the Cavs game.
We wrap up at 6.
Yeah.
Right there. It starts at 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
The game?
Right.
All right, cool.
Correcto mundo.
On a football side. It was weird last weekend having no Knicks games.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? I was like looking around.
But it's not that bad when the Giants are winning, though. So I was okay with it. I was cool
true.
with it.
That's true. Giants and my Dolphins won. Tua came back and they won a game. That was nice.
Yeah, my Brees Hall got hurt.
Ooh. Yeah, fucking injuries, man. Injuries are brutal.
Sucks, but he'll make it back.
All right. Well, peace out to everyone in the chat. Thank you guys for following us. Please subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button for us. And if any thoughts pop up later on, just drop them in the comments. I try to read I try to read all the comments that I can. Definitely hit that thumbs up button for us. And check out the Knicks-Verse merch store. The link is in the chat, and it's also going to be in the description below. It's got some great stuff there. Actually, my shirt's dirty, so I didn't wear it today. Hey, there we go. There we go. That looks dope. Well, those are the new snapbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the thong, but I don't want to. I think anybody wants to see it.
You save that for your wife.
Yeah, I just got to bring the magnifying glass.
That's hilarious. All right, guys. All right. Well, we'll see you Sunday. Let's hope we win this game today. It'd be awesome to go into Sunday 4-1 and surprise the NBA and give them something more to talk about, because the NBA world is beginning to chirp about the Knicks and Jalen Brunson. And I love
positively too, because they normally chirp about the Knicks, but this time it's in positive light.
Yes, it's positive stuff.
And Jalen, we trust.
Brother BKO, good to see you, brother. Shout out to you. Hey, Lex, what's up, man? I didn't see you there earlier. Has Lex been around the whole time, or you just joined now?
Yeah, he mentioned
Lex is always around. God bless him.
Oh, you did poking? All right. All right. All right. And Del Chapman, salute to you. Salute to everybody in the chat. If we didn't shout you out, we always try to do that. Adrian. Hey, Adrian Realty. John
I wanted
Sorrow.
you to answer Joseph Faye's question.
Which was?
Where was it? He said, question, what RJ added to his game since his rookie year?
What
15 pounds.
Yeah.
Moxie out here wilding.
Right here. What RJ added to his game since his rookie year? Well, for one, he's a much better free throw shooter. That's one thing. He was terrible as a rookie. He had added a 3-point shot, and then it's gone away. But I'm dismissing his ineffective 3-point shooting that we've seen so far this season. I think he will end up somewhere in that 37% range, which is awesome for the volume that he puts up. 37% is nice. In terms of that, he's added more wiggle to his game. He's the ability to get to the hoop is much more convincing than before. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the touch to finish, and that's been troubling. That's what I'd like to see, the final part of it. But he has a lot of work to do in a lot of other areas. And I think part of it is not having the ball enough in his hands, which is shocking because he has had the ball in his hands a lot, but he just needs it more. I think that's just the way his game is. He needs to get into rhythm and feel it. He needs to touch that leather.
He has as many touches as last year.
He does. It's just, it's a little different. But he struggled in the beginning of last year. When he finally just took the rock and said, I'm going to the hoop every single time, like from New Year's Eve on last year. Once he decided to be that kind of player, he changed. Now, his efficiency is not there, though. He's got to up that efficiency. I mean, that's really, to me, that's all I care about. If what he has right now currently in his toolbox is all he'll ever have, I'll take it, but it has to come with efficiency. Or else, I mean, how do you win in the long run with someone who's shooting 31% from the 3-point line, finishing at 40% clip? I mean, that's just not going to do it in the NBA.
That sounds like Quickly stat line.
Yeah.
You got to get those. That
Quickly wasn't a number 3 pick, though.
True.
Right. So we really need, that's very important. We need RJ's efficiency to increase. And if he has to just take less shots, he's just got to play in the flow of the game. That's no matter what. And if he's open, he's got to take the shot. He can't pass up shots. That screws things up even more, in my opinion.
But also, like you said, pass, get more assists.
More assists, yes. He was looking good in the first couple of games. And then the last game, nothing. Yeah, I was disappointed in that. So, but I'm not that concerned about him. I know people are starting to feel concerned about that. I am personally not, but if this keeps going, I may join the concerned about RJ club. I may join that. I know Foxy's concerned.
Well, it was only because, you bring up cleaning the glass, and we've gone through his career stats for shooting, and this is who he is. What'll happen is you're 100% right. He'll get into a groove, and he'll go crazy, and then he'll go bad again, and then he'll get hot at the end of the season. At the end of the year, you'll go, didn't have a bad percentage-wise, but as a fan and stuff, you're like, it wasn't consistent, man. It was a roller coaster. You don't want that in his 4th year.
Yeah.
Especially the year right after you paid him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also could be pressure. He's putting a lot of pressure on himself. To me, because I've been in his position. Obviously not in this arena or whatever, but you put so much pressure on yourself. You get tight. you know, and then you're for me, it's coming up with creative ideas, and when I'm tight and I'm feeling the pressure, they're just not flowing, and I try to do all kinds of things to kind of get myself out of it. Go on walks, this, that, whatever, jerk off, whatever it is. You know, I try to do all you know, like whatever it takes to get out of that, to break through that block.
Remind me not to shake hands.
Don't worry, he's all the way on the West Coast. He'll be fine.
But he seems like he's too mechanical. He's too in his head. He's aiming, like you were saying, Foxy. He's aiming, and like Keith, you said the contract could be bothering him. I think it's too much stuff is happening in his head right now.
But it shouldn't. Meaning Brunson is taking the stress off the guy. Is basically saying, "I'm the closer. I'll take the hard shots.
Yeah,
you just do what you got to do, young man."
That's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. When you are the guy in your whole life, in the story of your life, when you're the guy, you're the alpha, and which he has been his whole life. You don't immediately like, oh, it's cool, we got Brunson. No, he still puts the pressure on himself.
Hey, he knew in the first game against Ja, he's not the guy. You know,
yeah, but let's not forget, he destroyed Ja two years ago. You know,
I don't remember that far.
Game. Yeah, you don't remember that far. What I remember, see, I remember. I have all the receipts. We forget he scored more 30-point games for anyone under the age of 22 last season than anyone in the NBA. You know, in terms of his actual production of his first 3 seasons of his career, he's up there with the nosebleed guys. LeBron, Kobe, who's the other is it LeBron,
Luka?
Kobe? Yeah. Luka. Yeah, Luka. And there's a fourth guy. I can't remember the fourth guy. So yes, if you add efficiency to that, then we're talking about a superstar. All right, so we'll see. He just got to get the efficiency up there. And Zion was not the alpha, Willie Cruz. Hate to break that news to you. He was definitely not the alpha on that Duke team. That was RJ's team, and Zion would say it to you. Zion was.
And George is the beta.
I've definitely never been a beta.
The masturbator.
I have. If you can't be the king of your own domain, you can't be the king of your own domain. You can't rule anyone else's.
I love you guys.
That's right, baby. You got to be the master of your own universe. All right. Well, let's see. This game's going to start. We made it all the way to game time.
Oh,
awesome! Let's win this one, guys. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Love everybody here in the Knicks-Verse. Been a great show. Been a lot of fun. And we'll see you Sunday. Right?
Yes,
absolutely. 4:30.
Right.
We'll see you 4:30 Sunday. And I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.
Boom.